Billionaire CEO gets into the car and hears a single dad tell her to shut up. The reason was, Vivian Kane, the billionaire CEO of a global tech empire, was used to people hanging on her every word. No one had ever told her to be quiet in her entire career until that night. She slid into the back seat of a sleek black SUV that had pulled up in front of her headquarters. Exhausted after a 14-hour board meeting, she didn't even glance at the driver. "Take me to the penthouse," she sighed, scrolling through her phone, but the man in the driver's seat suddenly snapped, his voice low and firm. "Shut up." Not a sound. Vivian froze. Rage surged in her chest. Who does this man think he is? But then she noticed something she'd missed before. The man wasn't her usual chauffeur. His hands on the steering wheel were calloused, strong, not the hands of a driver. His eyes kept darting to the rearview mirror, scanning the street. "Excuse me?" she demanded, her voice sharp. He didn't turn around. "If you value your life, don't speak, don't move." Vivian's heart started pounding. Was this a kidnapping? But then she saw it, the black motorcycle headlights in the distance. 3, 4, 5 of them, closing in fast. The man floored the gas, weaving through traffic. "They followed you," he said finally. "Your usual driver was taken out. They wanted you vulnerable. You were 2 minutes away from being dragged into a van." Her phone buzzed in her hand, an encrypted warning from her security team, arriving too late. Vivian swallowed. "Who are you?" He finally met her eyes in the mirror. "Name's Daniel. Single dad. I don't work for you. I was just walking my little girl home when I saw them ambush your driver. He told me to get you out." Her chest tightened. He wasn't a professional bodyguard, but the way he drove, the way he scanned every angle. This was no ordinary man. "You have training," she whispered. Daniel's jaw tightened. "Special forces. Retired. I keep my head down now. Raise my daughter. But when I saw what they were about to do to you..." He didn't finish the sentence. The bikers caught up, roaring closer. Vivian clutched the leather seat, her CEO composure cracking. For the first time in years, she wasn't in control. Daniel took a sharp turn into a construction site, engines screaming behind them. "You still want to talk," he muttered, "or do you want to live?" Vivian finally understood. He hadn't told her to shut up out of disrespect. He'd done it because one distraction, one wasted second, could have cost her life. That night, the billionaire CEO realized something shocking. The stranger who saved her wasn't motivated by money, but by instinct. Honor and the same fierce love that drove him to protect his daughter. And as the bikers closed in for the final showdown, Vivian knew one thing. Her life was in the hands of the only man bold enough to silence her. Vivian Kane wasn't used to silence. In her world, her voice commanded boardrooms, shook markets, and dictated the rhythm of every meeting. But inside that SUV, silence was exactly what Daniel demanded. "Shut up," he said again, his tone so controlled, so razor-sharp, it cut right through her instinct to argue. Vivian's first reaction was fury. She was Vivian Kane, CEO of Kane Technologies, worth billions. No one spoke to her like that. But then, she caught a glimpse in the rearview mirror, his eyes hard, calculating, not cruel, but focused. This wasn't arrogance. It was survival. And then came the roar. Motorcycles. 4 of them, no 5 engines, growling like a pack of wolves closing in. Vivian's phone lit up with her security team's warning, but it was already too late. The bikes boxed them in, flanking the SUV. Daniel swerved hard. The SUV clipped a bike, sending one rider tumbling. Vivian gasped, gripping the seatbelt, her polished composure slipping into raw fear. "Who are you?" she demanded, her voice trembling. "I told you, Daniel," he shot back, hands steady on the wheel. "Single dad, wrong place, wrong time. But I wasn't about to let them take you." The SUV skidded through a red light. Horns blared, but Daniel didn't flinch. His every move was precise. This wasn't random panic. "You've done this before," Vivian said, her sharp mind piecing it together. "Military." His jaw clenched. "Special forces. Afghanistan, Iraq, places you've only read about on the news. I don't do this anymore. I keep my head down. Raise my little girl. That's it." "Then why risk your life for me?" Daniel's eyes flicked up to hers in the mirror, just for a moment. "Because I saw a man get killed trying to protect you. He didn't deserve to die for nothing." The bikers surged again. One rider drew a pistol, aiming for the SUV. Vivian ducked instinctively, but Daniel swerved into an alley, scraping sparks off the walls as he threaded the vehicle through a space barely wider than the mirrors. Pulse thundered. This wasn't a corporate takeover, a hostile negotiation, or a scandal she could buy her way out of. This was life and death, and for once, her billions meant nothing. Finally, the SUV burst out onto a deserted loading dock. Daniel slammed the brakes, tires screeching. He turned to her at last, his face grim. "They'll find us again," he said. "They won't stop until you're either dead or taken. Now you have two choices. Stay here and pray, or listen to everything I say and trust me completely." Vivian Kane had never trusted anyone fully in her life. But staring into those battle-hardened eyes, she knew one thing. This stranger, this single dad who had already risked everything, might be the only man alive who could get her through the night. And so, the billionaire CEO sat back, silent for once, as Daniel reached under the seat, pulled out a weapon he must have taken from her fallen driver, and muttered, "Stay quiet, stay close. Tonight, we fight our way out." The SUV engine ticked as it cooled, the smell of burnt rubber still in the air. Vivian sat frozen, her fingers clenched so tightly her knuckles were white. Daniel checked the weapon, his movements efficient, almost rehearsed. Vivian noticed the little details, the scars on his forearms, the steadiness of his breathing. This wasn't just instinct, this was training burned into his bones. "They'll regroup," he said flatly. "We've got maybe 5 minutes before they find us again." Vivian swallowed hard. "Why are they after me?" He gave her a sharp look. "You tell me. You've got enemies." She almost laughed. "I'm a billionaire CEO. I am enemies to half the world." But as she said it, something in her gut twisted. She thought of the last week's board meeting, the hostile takeover rumors, the massive tech contract with the government, the whispers of corporate espionage. Was this it? Daniel crouched by the back door, scanning the street. "You need to disappear. Do you have safe houses?" "Somewhere off the radar." Vivian shook her head. "I have penthouses, estates, security teams, but nowhere normal." Daniel muttered under his breath. "Figures." He straightened, meeting her gaze. "Then you're coming with me." "What?" "My daughter's at home," he said. "Safe, hidden. I've kept her out of sight since the day she was born. No one touches her. If they follow me, I can lose them in places your bodyguards wouldn't last 10 minutes. Vivian bristled. No one ever gave her orders. Yet here he was, this man with nothing, no fortune, no empire, telling her exactly what she was going to do. And the terrifying part, she knew he was right. The roar of motorcycles echoed again, closer this time. Daniel grabbed her wrist, not rough, but firm. "Move, now." They slipped out of the SUV and into the shadows. Daniel led her down a narrow alley, past dumpsters and broken fire escapes, moving with a precision that screamed military reconnaissance. Vivian followed, heels clicking against the pavement until he stopped and looked back. "You'll get us both killed in those shoes." She opened her mouth to snap at him, but then, without hesitation, he crouched, pulled a knife from his boot, and sliced the straps clean off her designer heels. The billion-dollar CEO was left barefoot on grimy asphalt. Vivian stared at the ruined shoes, speechless. No one had ever dared touch her things before, And yet, in that moment, she realized survival didn't care about luxury. Daniel smirked, just slightly. Better. Behind them, the growl of engines grew louder. The hunt wasn't over. Stay close, Daniel ordered again. This is just the beginning. And as Vivian followed him deeper into the maze of the city, barefoot, heart racing, and utterly unprepared for the world she'd just been dragged into, one thought pulsed through her mind. For the first time in my life, I'm not in control.